It's been a week since I asked what is most important to you, which is how the introduction of my book, Faith and Finances, starts. Identifying what's most important to you is like figuring out which direction you're heading in life. When you can have clarity about what's most important to you, because that's what you're spending your most time thinking about and doing, regardless of what you say. You can say your family's the most important, but take a look at how much time you're spending with your family. Check out last week's. I don't want to rehash everything, but check out last week's devotional. At this time, I'll put the link above, and we go through this line of question about what's most important to you and discovering that. So hopefully you've had time to think about what's most important to you this week or this past week. Hopefully you've had time, because it's an incredibly important question, because it will determine how you navigate your life, how you go about every single day. And if you're having a hard time really getting clarity about what matters to you most, that's okay. Questions like this, you should think long and hard about. You should think about them often. That way you're keeping the course, right? Think about what you're spending the most time thinking about as you go about your day and doing. That's important as well. And so I give the example, if you're thinking about money throughout the day a lot, then that's probably what's most important to you. That's probably what's causing a lot of stress as well, a lot of unnecessary anxiety, things that you probably should not be worrying about. So spend time figuring out why you are thinking about money so much and why it's so important to you, because there's really nothing wrong with money. And I'll spend more time on this moving forward. Money in itself is just a tool. But I want you to get honest with yourself, because once you can be open-minded about, okay, maybe I say this is the most important thing, family, faith, friends, whatever, but I'm really not spending my time in those areas. So once you can be honest about yourself in those areas and be open-minded, then that can start to pave the way for not only change, but progress. Change happens to every last single one of us. None of us can avoid change, right? We all get older. We all get a little more, a few more wrinkles in the face there. I got the wrinkles. More gray hairs. Maybe a little more overweight. Like all of that, if we're not doing anything intentional, then change is going to happen. But progress, that is a choice. And I'll give you an example. So if you want to be healthier, you have to be intentional about that. If you want to progress in being more flexible or stronger, then you have to spend time in those areas. You have to eat healthier. You have to drink more water. Maybe cut back on some of the sugar-loaded drinks and caffeinated drinks, and make wiser decisions for your body to feel better, and that way you can perform better. When you go and exercise, you'll have more energy. So that's progression. Progression is a choice. Change, that naturally happens to every single one of us. If we just go through the motions of doing the same thing over and over, then we're going to get the same results over and over. But if you want progress, then you have to do things a little bit differently moving forward, being intentional with your life. And so as you discover what's most important to you and whatever you want to see changed, make small adjustments along the way. Refine your search, refine your efforts along the way. That way you can become more the person that God created you to be.